Something doesn't sit well inside me with this whole Hana Kimura thing. As we all know, that the media likes to say that she committed suicide. And as you can see, Detective Conan, case closed, they use a lot of tricks to make you think that someone committed suicide when they were actually murdered. And he uses a lot of inventive things in order to prove that the person did indeed was killed by someone. Here's how they could have made it seem as if Hana Kimura was suicidal when someone actually did her in. I wish I could do little cool shots or whatever to get in between so you can be more engaged, but you're gonna have to listen to what I have to say very carefully. All the evidence that I know is in my head, and it comes of 4 days later since the incident. The latest thing I know is that an odd substance was in her system at the time of her wanting to slit her wrists. The odd substance in question could have been planted inside of her body, either by the killer themselves, either by orally taking it, or by syringe. So if I were detectives, I would be searching Hana Kimura's body carefully for any kind of syringe inputs that may have been put into a system to make us think that Hana Kimura had a little bit too much of a particular hazy substance to make her do certain things. The second thing is the slits. I did see the blurred footage of, unfortunately it was blurred, I couldn't see the whole details, the blurred footage of her slit wrists. That could have been done by the killer themselves. The killer could have had Hana under the influence at the time and slit her wrists like themselves. The killer could have did that. The killer could have propped up Hana's body on like a chair, and then posed their slit wrists on the chair and took a picture at head length per se, at an angle that Hana would normally take a picture at. That's the second thing. The third thing is Hana Kimura and her Instagram. That could have been anybody. Anybody who had access to her password and her ID. They could have hacked her account at that time to put the information out there that I'm thinking about ending it all, yada yada yada, and then the final message. So I would be checking to see if I were a detective, I'll be checking who had access to Hana Kimura's account at the time. Whoever had access to the account at the time, that's step one. There needs to be more. There needs to be motivation. The motivation for taking out Hana Kimura is, well, there could be more to it than that one. The obvious reason is Hana Kimura's spot in stardom. Hana Kimura was the ace of stardom. And I don't know how it works over there, but they could have taken Kimura out there so they can get a spotlight. I don't want to say any names here, but there was someone who was rising in the ranks there who would never be number one if Hana Kimura was still in the picture. We all know that people want to take out others in order to get to the top themselves. In addition to, the actual killer could have been someone hired by that person. So we never know who could have done this in the first place. So even if you do catch the killer in this situation, they could be hired by somebody else, and you got to make them talk some way somehow. So, with all the evidence, all the evidence that I put in front of you, and the possible motivations, the other motivation could be the fact that Hana Kimura was angry at Kai in Terrence's house. For the incident of accidentally destroying her precious ring gear. The person who could have did Kimura in could have been someone related to Kai at the time. Someone that sticks up for Kai and wants to protect him and the name. Maybe they don't like their relative or the boyfriend being messed with, and wanted to teach Kimura a lesson. So The fact that Hana Kimura was a very lively person and was taking all kind of gruff from fans beforehand, but this particular one did her in, doesn't sit well with me. So if you know of any other reasons that Hana Kimura could not have taken her life, please let me know in the comments below.